Alright, so this is me on the new Harley Davidson Street Rod. It's 2017. I got about 600 miles on it. Just leave my neighborhood now. It's pretty dope. A lot of people, it's definitely an eye catcher, I guess. A lot of people tend to look at it as I ride around. Either that's because I'm new and I'm stalling the hell out of it, or because they think it's a cool bike. Probably both. Definitely has been a very fun 6,600 miles on it. Haven't had too many problems with it. Only once did the battery go out, and that was my fault because I left the keys in it. Total newbie thing. So right now I got it probably in second gear, riding it through the neighborhood, going about 20, 25. Really learning how to use the throttle to kind of brake instead of just mashing on the brakes like I did in the first couple hundred miles. Really trying to back off of that. Use the clutch more for braking. You can see here I did not use my turn signal. That's great. Heading out of my neighborhood now, going to the third gear, fourth gear maybe, driving down the street. This is to go to the downtown area of my neighborhood, going to church here on a Wednesday night. So it's pretty normal traffic. It's probably about 6 o'clock, 6:15 out. So it's just after rush hour in this traffic. And you'll see me get on the highway and go through the city and all, so you kind of get a feel of what's happening as we're driving here. So, what kind of gear do I have? I've got a GoPro Hero Session 5, and then the jacket I'm wearing is a Joe Rocket jacket. I do have a neon vest, and then the helmet I did get from Harley Davidson. It's got a visor in it, and the whole full face, but the face like pops up. I'm not sure exactly what style you would call that. But it's pretty good. I really like it. It's about $200. Buy it with the bike. That way I could just take it out and go riding like day one. With it, I didn't want to wait. Didn't want to dick around. Try to find some other helmet in some store. Just had a lady size me up and get it and go. Gloves. Gloves were donated by my brother. I don't actually know what style they are. I think I'm medium-sized gloves. So here we got about 40 miles an hour through this area. Speeding a little bit. Taking this turn. I do like this turn. It's a really good turn. It's kind of fun. Just before I hit the bridge. A little bit of gravel, but I can see it. I see it coming from a good ways off. And the guys keep the street pretty clean. So, but it's been good to ride. I mean, chilling, listening to some music. As you can see, I'm wearing my shorts and not actually wearing my riding pants. It does get pretty hot here in South Carolina. It's probably about 93 outside yesterday when I was doing this video. I do not have a microphone yet for the GoPro, so I'm just kind of editing this, doing a voiceover, here on the following day. So, and been hitting every red light like crazy. And the bike does not. I don't think it gets warm. I mean, I'm wearing shorts and I'm wearing Sperry's, and I do not think the bike gets hot at all sitting at red lights. It's my only bike I've ever had. It's my first bike, and I mean, before I had this bike, I'd only been on like one Yamaha in the street training. So, but to me personally, I don't think it's warm at all. I think a lot of people say that about it, but I don't think it gets warm. It is liquid cooled, and also I think that does help quite a bit. And this is me. I'm just like trying to get my music to play right. I was like on Spotify, and I just decided to change to some weird song, and it was like it's on my playlist, and really want to like jam out on the highway. It was probably kind of dumb because you can't really hear anything else that's going on around you, but it's still pretty cool. And like I could not get the neutral. I will say that is definitely true about this bike. Getting the neutral seems to be tough, and the indicator doesn't always come on when you're in neutral. It's not too big of a problem, but sometimes like when you're trying to do an emergency stop, it can be. So that's probably my only negative thing about the bike so far. Was just that. So I get here and try to like pick my darn music out, and I didn't feel like jamming out to Justin Timberlake while I was on the highway on my Harley. That would just be stupid. So I think I picked like what did I pick? 10 Feet Tall. Yeah, that was a good song. Yeah, so I picked that one. So if you disagree, leave it in the comments. I might read it. I might not. I probably will though. Put my glove back on. Try to hang on to that clutch so I don't lose the bike. Because I don't think I ever found neutral. Actually, when I did that, I meant to turn it off and find neutral, but I didn't. But that is a valid point though. Like a lot of people make about the bike. I've seen other reviews. I've seen some online blogs about it, and it's definitely true. They could have done a little bit better job with the neutral, getting it. It's just, you know, you try to sit there and you flip with your foot. There's a lot of times, especially when I'm going into the park, because I'm new, I guess. But when I'm going into the park, like to park it at a store or something like that, I do find myself maybe 1 out of 10 times having to actually just bend over and grab with my hand gently, very gently and slowly put it in a neutral. And so that has been a little bit of a problem, but I think the more I ride it, the more I'll train out of it. Because the first couple times I rode, like every time I was having to do that, but now it's like 1 out of 10 times I'm having to move it in neutral. So still slowing down these turns a pretty good bit. I think I dropped down like 15, and then I'll zoom out. And this is probably what's wrecking my gas mileage a little bit, because I tend to just rev the shit out of it when I'm hitting these ramps, because I'm going so slow in these turns to make sure I don't dump it. But I've been getting better at it, but it's definitely a newbie thing that I'm doing wrong. So checking my mirrors and all, going into this highway. I'll probably take out about 70, 75 on this highway right here, and it does feel great. Like once you get up to speed, this bike just cruises. It does a fantastic job of just feeling good on the highway. The only thing I would say about it though is the mileage does tend to suffer when you get it past about 65. Maybe 60 or 65 is when the mileage really just drops off the RPMs. Rev all the way up. I mean, this is going probably 4,300, 4,400 RPMs right now as you're cruising down highway. So like, if you're really gonna use this strictly as highway bike, and you're like, oh man, like it's gonna get 52 on the highway, that's definitely not gonna happen. I've gotten 62 miles a gallon on this bike, and I've gone down as far as 47. 47, I hit that when I was doing strictly nothing but highway, cruising about 70. And it's just those high RPMs that are making it do that. This bike really loves to be probably going about 45 to 55 miles an hour in the city in 6th gear. And when I did that, I was doing that a lot, going over like the girlfriend's place and heading downtown, taking a different route. And I got 62, 63 miles a gallon, which is fantastic. That's exactly what I want out of the bike. And going over these bumps that you see in the video, like you don't feel them at all. Like the suspension just does a fantastic job of neutralizing those bumps. I'm actually just like watching the video right now, and I'm like, oh man, I can't believe it's really that bad. Because I'm like watching it slower here on the video than it was in real life. And yeah, you just don't feel it at all. Like the rear shocks are great. The front shocks are even better. So it just cruises. The big tires on it really help out. I got Michelin 21 something other tires on it. They're supposed to be custom to this bike, so we'll see about that when I do have to get a tire change, what they recommend and all. But like I said, you're just cruising. And really, if you're going 55 to 60 on a highway or something, or you're kind of in somewhat heavy traffic, this thing will get amazing mileage. Like I said, it'll get in the 60s. But you'll be up in 4,400, 4,500 land if you're cruising 75 or 80. When I hit 80 before, it does get up to 5,000. So it's supposed to be a 9,000 RPM bike. I guess you could probably rev it all the way to over 100, and it would probably be every bit of every 9,000 to get it over 100. So yeah. So going through this construction traffic here, the roads like all marred and stuff, no problem with the bike. I mean, the bike's just cruising over it, just dominating it. I don't feel any bumps, hardly at all. This is some new asphalt right here. They're putting down, they're doing this like massive interchange. It's like a $2 billion interchange, new interchange they're doing in the city. But like I said, these bumps and all that I'm going over, a little bit of groove pavement, everything, I don't feel it at all. Now I'm kind of avoiding the big potholes here. I know this road pretty well. I ride it probably 2 or 3 times a week. And so that's part of it. It's like, yeah, I'm avoiding the big bumps, but like I said, you just don't feel it on the bike nearly as much as you think you would. And it being 490 pounds, it's like 490 empty, 512 full, with full gas in it and all. And it's a light bike. Like you do feel the wind. If you get a strong breeze and you're on the highway going 70, like it will kind of like knock you around a little bit, but it is nice if you haven't put it in neutral and kind of move it along in a parking lot, or you're having to kind of maneuver in and out of cars. Like that lightweight bike is great. It's a good balance between super lightweight, which is like probably like a Ninja or something like that. My brother used to have one of those, like But as soon as like I say that, they're just like, damn, that's awesome. Like that's super cool, super dope. Like that cool factor is there. I will say it is a panty dropper. That is absolutely true, which I think is a cool factor as well. You know me, I said I got a girlfriend, but I've definitely had like 2 or 3 girls like come to me and like, hey, like, you know, when you need someone right in the back of it, just let me know, and all, which is fun, super fun. So we're just cruising along right here, going, like I said, maybe at 65, 70, trying to get to where I'm going. And what else to say about the bike? I mean, it's a pretty standard bike, I guess, but it just, like I said, just looks and everything about it is kind of Spartan, where there's not a whole lot of extra frills on the bike. There's nothing that you don't need on the bike, it's for sure. And like I get that if you're shopping for one of these, like you're trying to you're trying to not spend a whole lot of money, and you're like, but I want the wow factor, I want this, I want that, I want ABS, I want these shocks, I want this high mileage, and if you're looking for like a ton of features, then this is probably not your bike, because this is kind of a bare bones Harley. But what it does very well, and I would say what it does is that it's just a simple cafe racer with some power behind it. That's very well built. The fit and finish is great on it. Nothing feels cheap on it, and all the paint looks great on it. It looks like there was some craftsmanship that went into this bike. There's definitely a sense of like this is like union made, good solid product, but there's nothing that you don't need on it either. So I think we're getting to that point where someone almost clips me. And so far, people have been great on it, though. I mean, for the most part, other than this one dude, right there in the right lane, right there for the New York plates. He just kind of helps himself here in a second. Yeah. But so far, people are pretty great about it. Visibility hasn't been a problem. I do wear a neon jacket over the jacket, like a neon vest. And the visibility has not been a problem with it. People have been pretty respectful of me. So like to all people who are like considering getting this bike, I mean, I picked it up super fast. It was super easy. The payments on it are real low. I didn't even put like that much down. This is definitely a hobby that, yeah, you're gonna put down maybe like $2,000 to like get into it, like for the bike, the gear, and all, the helmet, everything. Like once you do that, you know, it's like $100 a month and a gas, and it's just super fun. It's super great. I can't believe I waited this long to get a bike. I should have got one like as soon as I was out of college, because this is just, it's super fun owning one. I can't say enough about how much fun it is. And I have a knapsack, like a little like gym bag almost that I carry around me. It's orange, so it's like high vis, and you know, you can put stuff in there. And like anybody who's like, oh well, you won't be able to take this, you won't be able to take that. Like I've had some people that they're trying to dissuade me from getting a bike when I first got, like when I was first thinking about getting one, because they're like, oh well, you won't be able to carry an umbrella, you won't be able to like carry your lunch with you to work, you won't be able to like do this and that, like because you need a car to tote stuff around. And I was like, I've definitely found out that I don't need nearly as much crap as I keep in my car. I got my cell phone, my wallet, I usually have a knife or like pepper spray in there, and then cell phones, and maybe 1 or 2 other things. And if I need it, I'll bring the knapsack, the little gym bag, throw, you know, if I'm going, I got this time I'm going to church, I'm going to a dinner party afterwards, I got a bottle of wine in my backpack, and I just go, like there's no question about, you know, okay, I need to bring all this extra crap. You don't, like, so it makes your life kind of simple in a way, because it's just like, okay, this is all the space I have, so whatever I'm going to carry with me, it's better be important. So it is kind of nice. It's been kind of refreshing having a motorcycle and like really deciding like what are you really going to bring and what you're not going to bring with you. So that has been great. There's just like a super slow Jaguar in front of me. I'm going like 50 miles an hour. This Jaguar is just, I don't know, a lady had just bought it or something like that, some old lady, and I'm just, I had it. Yeah, this is where I just rev it up, blow by her. Yeah, she's like some old lady, whatever. So now I'm hitting like, this is like just outside downtown, and the traffic will pick up here in a minute, but dropping it down to about 35. Like I said, just using that, trying to use that clutch braking right there to get it to drop. lower the speed. That's been pretty effective. I hope I'm not tearing up the bike though, because the engine does kind of like, you know, it's kind of like whine a little bit. The revs go up, but it doesn't seem to be bothering a few people who have Harleys, cruisers. Like they told me about that trick, and it does seem like it would save the brakes and all. So it has been nice. Going over like potholes and stuff. Like I said, this road that's pretty bad shape. Like all the roads in South Carolina suck. They're just pretty much all like this, like super patchy and all, but this bike's just taking them, like it's just dominating all these potholes and stuff. Suspension's great. Like, once again, can't speak enough about the suspension on it. Just the fun, just like the thrill of the ride is pretty great on this bike. The only other bike I've ridden is a little Kawasaki 250 dual sport. I mean, of course, this is going to be like light years ahead of that, but it just seems like it'd be a fun bike, you know. So sitting here in traffic, once again, I'm not hot on the bike. I don't feel heat coming off. I don't feel like my nuts are being cooked or anything. I don't feel a whole lot of heat coming off from the side. Once again, it's liquid cool. It's got a fan in the front too, and you'll hear that turn on like in a second. There's a light where if you do idle long enough in a city, the fan will turn on and all. But like I said, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much heat people are comparing it to with other bikes, but I've seen that like 5 reviews on YouTube about this bike or the 750, and they're like, it's so hot. It gets so hot in the city, like, you know, like my legs are being cooked and stuff. And I'm like, I don't get that. I don't get that at all. So it's me running the red light. That's great. Well, I wasn't running it. I went on yellow. Everybody does that down south. Like everyone just runs red lights. So. Yeah, I will say it is kind of fun just being a millennial on the bike. That's why I picked my YouTube name, millennial motorcycler. Like it's kind of fun. Like everyone just sees you getting off the bike and they're just like, whoa. Like you can tell, like some people are just staring because they stare. People just stare at each other because they're people watchers. But like some people stare and they're like, wow, it's a young guy getting off a Harley, and like I did not expect to see a Harley that looks like that. And when I show people a bike the first time, they're usually like, I did not know Harleys came looking like that. When did they make that bike? You know, and there's actually only one other millennial guy. It's like he's like 26, and he has a Harley, but he bought his used off Craigslist or something. And it's like 9 years old cruiser. It's like a road glide or something like that. So this is where the fan turns on right here. You can kind of hear it click on. It is kind of loud. It does. I do kind of wonder, you know, in 5 or 6 years, is it going to be fine? Is it going to be a pain point on the bike? Because this is their first liquid cooled bike, I do believe. So that always kind of makes you nervous. It's like the first one of a new style. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, we'll see. You know, we'll see how the maintenance does, and I'll be still posting here on YouTube when that happens, if it happens. But yeah, you kind of hear that fan click on, and just waiting for that light now. So I just keep making my way through the city here, and this is really a good bike for like the street. Like the gears shift really smoothly, super smooth shifting. You can up and down shift in like a breeze. I mean, you can go all down 6 in like maybe like 10-15 seconds when you're holding the clutch in on it, and then just ease on the brakes. And with it having the dual front brakes and the rear brakes, stops on a dime. It does a great job, and like I said, it's heavy enough to where you don't feel like you're going to get thrown. You don't feel like you're going to get, you know, you're not going to stop too fast, but it's light enough where you can get off the line pretty quick. I've seen some videos where guys are, you know, doing 0 to 60 in like 3.5 seconds on this bike, 3 seconds, something like that. The way you sit definitely helps too. Like I could sit like a sport bike, and sometimes I do. If I'm going on the highway, I can try to reduce the wind resistance. I'll get real close to the tank, and then I'll pop the back 2 passenger pegs and put my feet on those and do that. So actually I'm going real slow through this turn because that Jaguar is behind me, and I just want to like make that lady pay for driving super slow on the interstate. It's just kind of me being a dick, but whatever. But yeah, like I said, you can ride it like a sport bike if you want to, but I usually ride like a cafe racer or cruiser. It's fantastic. I have not felt at all like I'm going to be thrown from it. I have not felt really unsafe on it. The only time I've had a problem is, like I said, that when I just honked the horn just then, and then there's one turn that I take on the way to work that is very sharp, and you're on the interstate going about 60 miles an hour on it, and I do feel, you know, my heart race a little bit when I go through that turn. But other than that, the bike's been great, handles great. Haven't had a problem yet. I mean, I've only had 600 miles on it, so once again, just going over all the wonderful streets of our southern city, all the bumps and all. And I will say, you know, there's something very like manly about riding this Harley too. I think definitely, like, other guys can say that, like, they're like, that's definitely badass, you like ride a motorcycle and all, but there's just something that like just like takes you back when you're on it. Like, man, this is like how, you know, how guys like rode in the 70s and like the 80s and all. That feeling is pretty darn cool. Like, just feeling a little retro yourself, and then just doing something that's not normal for my age group. Definitely makes you feel really cool, and it's just a good feeling to have. Like, your heart kind of races on every turn a little bit. You just feel very connected to the road, and very connected to the bike. It all kind of feels like you're one with everything with this ride. It's not like riding a car at all. So for anyone out there, like I said, anyone out there who's thinking about getting this bike, if you got the money to like do it, I would absolutely do it. I mean, as far as avoiding the weather goes, I just check the weather channel before I leave. Just pull up the app on your phone, check it real fast, be like, okay, I'm good to go. And then as long as you typically know the routes that you're going to take. Like, for me, I've been driving around this city for like 2 years since I graduated college, and I know all the roads. I know kind of sort of which are the good roads, which are the bad roads, what's going to have gravel on it or sand, you know, things like that. And it's been great. Like, once you get going with the gear and all, the breeze is fantastic. Like, you do not feel at all hot with that jacket or the helmet. And the helmet, like I said, it's brand new. I don't know what kind of technology it has, but it seems to keep your head pretty cool. I got all the vents open on it, and I do keep the blast shield down all the way, and I don't feel like I'm getting hot at all. And I'm very warm, anti-warm nature, I guess, very cold-blooded person, and I don't feel like I get hot on it at all. So up here, I do run into a problem though, and you'll see me kind of stall. I kind of stall the bike out. I put it down like 3rd or 4th gear, and I was really trying to rev it and then release the clutch, and ended up stalling out. This is the first time I stalled it out in a while doing something like this, but the bike just dies. Like, it just flat out right there. Just totally dies on me. And gets real stiffens up, and I do feel lurched a little bit, but like I said, because of the way I'm seated, I don't feel like I'm going to get thrown from it. So this is me. I'm trying to find that neutral. Can't find the neutral on it. You know, eventually I just reach down. Still quite can't find it. Like I said, this is the one complaint I have about the bike. Just cannot find that neutral. So eventually I just go all the way down to 1st, and then I'll start it back up. There's neutral. Yeah. And there we go. So that's a total newbie mistake. I just didn't put it in the gear. Drop the gear down low enough for getting out of that turn, that slow speed turn. But that's the first time I've done that in a while. I have stalled it out on an uphill start in my neighborhood, but for the most part, that's been it. So I'm just trying to like pick which entrance to go into this church. It's kind of like a little bit of a sketchy area, but you know, it's all good. These people are good people. Like, they're pretty chill. Like, they know the church crowd, and they're good folks. It's a typical, like, you know, inner city outreach Catholic church. It's got school to it. It's pretty nice. The priest is pretty cool. And just going in the parking lot now. This kind of made me nervous, like going up this little uphill ramp almost. I'm trying to slow down because the trucks, you know, SUVs coming and all. And I'm just like picking a parking spot. But you know, it's always a fun ride. It's a better way to get there. Super fun. Can't speak highly enough about the bike other than that neutral issue. Bike's fantastic. Watch my other reviews, like, subscribe. I'll be posting videos probably once a week that are like this. I bet you I want to get a mic, but check it out. Stay tuned for other videos, and just ride safe and ride often.